I never want to interrupt the master. He's always amazing, isn't he? And keeps you in a great place. We're going to go ahead and open up the service. Welcome, by the way. Welcome to Unity on the Mountain. It's a gorgeous day. Oh my gosh, it doesn't feel like it's, what, 35 degrees? Go ahead and stand up. We're going to open this service with Song Heaven is Here. And I will guide you through. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. We gathered here today to laugh and learn and pray, to feel the light within us grow. And now it's time to start, to open every heart to what we already know. We gathered here today to laugh and learn and pray, to feel the light within us grow. And now it's time to start, to open every heart to what we already know. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. Coming home to unity, heaven is here right now. Heaven is here right 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 now. Heaven is here right 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 now. Heaven is here right now. Heaven is here right now. And say good morning to your fellow neighbor. Shake your hand. Say how you doing. This is my That's the one that I'll tell you about. Her daughter.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is so wonderful to see all your shining, smiling faces up here on this shivery but beautiful winter morning. Let us all affirm together our opening statement, which can be found in the bulletin and up here on your wall. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God the good. And Reverend Carol would like to give us some good words.
This is still a new process that we're doing. Just passing this around, hold it for a few minutes when it comes to you. Just visualizing this is our world, this is our globe. Knowing that it is the symbol for holding our world in love. So as it comes to you, just pass it around after you get done with it. I kind of head in it, and, you know, sometimes it's squeeze it, you know, so, love for our globe. And I'll pass it to you.
This is our Christ light, which represents that sweet divine inner essence within each and every one of us. Let us say together our vision and mission statements.
Centered in God, we inspire spiritual transformation, creating a world of love, peace, and prosperity. We are an inclusive spiritual community, inspiring, awakening, and serving in love.
Now we come to the children's lesson. Let us all of us thank the precious babies and children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren and the children of the world. This is for them.
We love you, we bless you, we behold Christ in you. We accept you just the way you are. Walk in beauty, you are divine.
We're going to go ahead and stand up and sing another song. It's very flowy, and I'll guide you through. It's new to everybody, so. But it's Love Is Who I Am by Joey Phoenix.
Oh my goodness, am I in the way?
I am surrounded by love. I am surrounded by love. I am surrounded by love. Love is who I am. How do you think that is? All right. You ready for the next one? I am supported by love. I am supported by love. I am supported by love. Love is who I am. Key change. This love won't let me fall. This love won't let me fall. This love won't let me fall. Love is who I am. Another key change just for fun. I am a part of this love. I am a part of this love. I am a part of this love. Love is who I am. And love is who I am. Love is who I am. So, love is who I am. Oh, you did love me. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. Have a seat, please.
Will the usher please bring the prayer box forward?
Thank you. This prayer box during regular time sits on the back, so everybody has access to it. Write prayers, you have prayer slips behind each of the pews, so you can do that. During our service, we put it to the front so that we can see it, and so that love energy, when you're standing up here, if you haven't had the opportunity to be the focus of all of this divine energy that goes towards us, you have no idea what you each one are sending. And so we hold all of these prayers and requests in our heart, in that heart of the divine God, knowing that before we ask, we have been answered, and yet before we ask, we are not aware of the answers. So we hold the oneness, healing what needs to be healed, being thankful, grateful that we have this love. We are this love. And each person who is represented in this box is that love. Each person that we hold in our hearts, but we have not written down. what we have it written on our hearts is that divine love of God. The truth of who they are is wholeness. And for this awareness, we give our grateful thanks. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you. All right. Now we come to the daily word portion. And the word, you want to remember, is dynamic. I am a dynamic spiritual being. The word dynamic is used to describe someone with an outgoing, energetic personality. The Greek origin of the word dynamis means miraculous power. So in the true sense of the word, those who study in the truest sense of the word and apply truth principles can be considered dynamic. When we tap into truth, we connect with our own miraculous power. We are dynamically alive. Wow. That's something to really think about. Our spiritual power energizes further through prayer and meditation, forgiveness and love. We may see tangible results or simply gain a profound sense of peace. The important thing is to remember is this: we are dynamic spiritual beings expressing divine power through our oneness with God. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion." Genesis 1, verse 26. Let us all down. Prepare to say our simple Lord's Prayer. Empty your laps. Still our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
And let us move deeper into that place of connectedness, of oneness. Let's breathe into that. Breathing inspiration. I'm breathing in the divine inspiration of God. As I breathe in and know that inspiration, it becomes a part of every cell of my body. As I breathe in deeply, I let go. I let go of the tension, of the stress that is both within my mind and in my body. I relax into this love. This love. I am love. I am love. Remind ourselves that the only name that God has ever given us is I am that I am. We cannot know that name without taking on all of those wonderful aspects that are ours, We are that dynamic energy of God operating in this world. We are the arms of God when we reach out and hug somebody. We are a channel for that divine love as we reach out in prayer. So let us know that. Let us feel that. Let us open our conscious mind. Breathe in again. Relaxing, allowing our conscious mind to let go, to open to divine mind, to open to divine power, to open to truth and love and light. Asking from our deep inner self for awareness. Oh God, all that you have created is ours. However, we have to accept it. And in this place of openness, we are willing to accept. Allow any concerns for others, for situations, to just kind of drift to your consciousness and be there as we prepare to move into that place of silence. Just offering to that divine intelligence, that divine energy, that divine God. Here, I am willing to allow healing and wholeness in this moment as I move into the silence. In the silence. And in this place of oneness and connectedness, we reach out to all those who are in this place of divine light, multiplying this awareness of God love, surrounding our globe, surrounding the hearts and minds of all who are here, shining that light into the dark places for those who are in anger, who are in fear, who are in dreadful want of many kinds. Oh God, let this divine love energy infuse our world in such a way that we support each other, that we know we are brothers and sisters of one family. We are your hands, we are your mouth, your ears, your eyes, your heart in this physical world. Be with us now as we move forward, as we are willing to allow that divine love to operate in and through us. And for this, we give our grateful thanks. And so it is. Amen. Joan, if you don't mind, I'm going to take on the job I'm introducing my friend,
Not at all.
Kerry Holder-Joffrion. And this is, I couldn't figure out her third or fourth time to be with us. I met Kerry pretty early on when I came to Huntsville through the Interfaith Mission Service. So when I talk about Interfaith Mission Service, I'm usually talking about my Muslim friends and my Hindu friends and my Jewish friends. Well, I met a lot of Christian friends too. And Kerry is one of those, and I don't know whether I've ever told you this, Kerry, but coming from a Protestant background, and usually a fairly plain Protestant background, the idea of some of the celebrations that happen in the Episcopal Church, because that is Kerry's foundation, she was an Episcopal priest, did not understand a lot of that symbolism. And because of Kerry, knowing we all have those gateways to that divine, and you really helped me understand how that was as much a gateway for the people who practice that as let's just take a deep breath and relax. The same thing, it is a gateway. So thank you, Kerry, for doing that for me. So we welcome you, and let us give her a welcome.
Thank you. I see good friends here today. Glad to see you, my mountain friends. And also glad to see those of you for the first time today. It's an honor to be with you. It's funny you would say that, Carol, of course, because I thought twice about this, but then I thought, well, I'm feeling prompted. So I'm going to share a little bit about that gateway tradition that is really universal if we understand it in the light of archetype. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about this season of light, which we find ourselves in. I wanted to go, wow, really good friends, awesome. I'm going to take this off because I'm going to get worked up. It's warmer up there than it is. I can feel it coming on. It is the season of light and all the great traditions and non-traditions of the world, because the earth has moved toward the sun and tilted back toward the light. In the Christian tradition, we call this time Epiphany. In the Hindu tradition, and tradition of the Muslim tradition, we are still moving in the light. And it is the time that we celebrate and hold it very gently as this holy piece of ourselves and our existence as we move from the darkness of winter into the spring. And so as we turn back toward the sun as a planet, since the winter solstice, the light begins to grow for the world. And so we move then with the light growing within us as well. And tomorrow, it's not at all coincidental to me that we are celebrating the birthday of a holy being of light, Dr. Martin Luther King, who brought a light to the nations through his own heart, his own reconciliation with love, and then being a being who manifests love. And in the face of great oppression and injustice, continued to love and continued to love and continued to love. Through this light, like his Lord's, his life was cut short, but somehow it still lives. It still lives in us, and it lives through and beyond us into many generations. In traditional times, Epiphany was the time when the home was blessed and neighbors carried the light to one another. And so today, if I may, we share this light with our neighbors and one another, this light that enlightens the darkest corners of our own hearts and our realms. So Dr. King reminds us, through his own life and death and rebirth, of how light cannot be extinguished. So the time of year that we are in, homes were blessed, neighbors carried light across the field to each other's homes in the darkness of winter. And it is the light of conscience that we share together today, the unity tradition. And I wanted to, which I respect very much, and today I wanted to share also with you a story. It's kind of, it comes back to us from a time in the 90s, in 94 actually. It's a true story, and I love this story. It's about a delegation of Americans that were invited to then the Russian Department of Education. There was a sort of window of tolerance in the mid-90s, in 94, between our nations, and they were asked to teach morals and ethics. I kind of see people of light sort of waiting for the door to crack in this story, you know, so that we can seep into each other during that small window of tolerance. And so these two gentlemen, happened to be gentlemen, lived in San Francisco, and they were asked to teach moral and ethics in Russian prisons, businesses, and fire and police departments for places of first response, and in orphanages while they were away from home. And they were told that they could teach from a perspective of light. And so they went in the late December, good timing, early January, the universe is never offline, and they became witnesses to the light. And because of our connection, if our tradition happens to be Christian, we remember that John the Baptist, during the season of preparing for Christmas, his story is often spoken, and he is often spoken of as one of the harbingers of light, preparing the way for the divine light of the Christ child coming. I wanted to read the scripture today, the Holy Writ, that we're going to share from John 1:7. He did not come to be the light fully, but to testify to the greater light, so that through the light those who saw might believe. I like that. That's a very universal scripture, even though it's specifically about a particular story. He came to testify to the light, so that through the light those who saw might believe. And so these two gentlemen leave the coast, the Pacific coast, and their perception is that they wrapped their perception of Jesus, the divine light, in the dirty rags of their existence, because they felt very humble about what they were about to do. And they boarded the 747, headed for St. Petersburg on a wing and a prayer, not knowing what was ahead. So they went here and they went there across the country. They littered the streets with light. They went into cells and rooms with a light that was beyond themselves. And they hoped that the babe wrapped in the rags of life would be enough for the great commission they had been given, which was to share love in a divine form, to let the light shine in the darkness. And they hoped that the darkness would not overcome it, and that their mission would not fail in the sense of empowerment. And they went. And one of the men, William Fish, tells the story that they went to a large orphanage that was full of children, and they were very humbled in the face of their suffering, both boys and girls, many of them. These little faces of God had been abandoned and abused and left in the care of the state-run program. The place was very gray, and it was very dismal feeling. Fish tells of what happened when the new year approached, like now, and it was time for the orphans to continue to hear the story that they had brought with them of the first season of light and its first time manifesting in their tradition. And he said, we told them about Mary and Joseph arriving in Bethlehem, finding no room left in the inn. The couple went to a stable where the baby Jesus was born and placed in a manger, and throughout the story, the children in the orphanage staff, because it was their first time in hearing it, listened in amazement. Some sat on the edge of their stools because they were so moved to try to grasp the consciousness and light that was emanating from these two visitors from a faraway land. When they completed the story, they gave the children very simply 3 small pieces of cardboard to make a crude manger so they could play with the story. Each child was given a paper square cut from the yellow napkins that they had brought with them on the plane. There was no colored paper available where they were. And following the instructions, the children tore the paper and carefully laid the strips in the manger for straw, small pieces of paper, and a little piece of flannel that was cut from the nightgown of an American lady that was throwing her nightgown away after when she left the country. They used that for the baby's blanket. And a little doll-like baby was cut from the felt that they had brought from the United States. And then the Magi and Joseph and Mary were made of felt as well. The orphans were busy assembling their mangers, he said, as I walked among them to see if they needed help, and all was going as I had hoped it would, until I got to one table where a little boy named Misha sat, and he looked to be about 6, even though he was probably 8 or 10 with malnutrition. And he was finishing his project. And when I looked in his little tiny manger, he said, I was startled to see not one, but 2 babies in the manger. I asked for the translator to come over gently and asked the boy why there were 2 babies in the manger. Well, he crossed his arms in front of him, he said, and he looked at his completed manger scene, and he began to repeat the story very slowly and really seriously. I listened. He told of Mary laying the baby in the manger in the traditional way, but then he started improvising. He said, Jesus looked up at me and asks me if I have a place to stay. Jesus looks up at me and asks me if I have a place to stay. And I told him, I don't have a mama. And I don't have a papa. So I don't have a place to stay. And then Jesus told me I could stay with him. But I told him because I couldn't, because I didn't have a gift to give him like everybody else. But I wanted to stay so much. So I thought about what I could give as a gift. I thought, maybe if I keep him warm, that would be a good gift. So I asked Jesus, if I keep you warm, will that be a good enough gift? And Jesus said to him, if you keep me warm, that will be the best gift of all. So I got into the manger. And then Jesus looked at me and said I could stay with him always, and I could have a home by him forever. And as Misha told the story, everyone stayed in silence, because the child had found a divine love that would not abandon or abuse him, and someone whose home meant forever, and he could stay for always. So during this season of light, in the Christian consciousness, we are in the season of Emmanuel, or God within us. God, the immanent one, manifests. And we learn finally that we are orphans without this divine love that manifests. All of us. And that it's finally God with us that saves us. God who came to us and will never abandon us or abuse us, but stay and make a home with us, where we can stay for always. And so in the season of light, we're reminded that the Christ light promises to abide with us when the biopsy comes back positive, when the final exam is marked with an F instead of an A, when our spouse of 15 years slams the door not to darken it again, when the dream of a successful business dies as the economy spirals, when the late night phone call rings and in the nightmare you discover that your mother is gone, when the longing for family harmony is shattered with the crack of one more bottle opening, and when the hope of warmth this new year is met with the cold chill of aloneness. In these shattering situations, the holy light remains with us, Emmanuel, and there is room in the manger and the simple straw for our weary hearts. It is true that we are all orphans in this world. And we are called to find the orphans, those searching for a family. People of God, we are called. And we are called to give them a square of yellow, a few pieces of cardboard. It doesn't matter how little it appears to us, God will do the rest. And if we do this simple and faithful act of loving people into the epiphany of God, the divine, the orphans will show us that all God wants is our skin next to His, against hers, our warmth, and that is indeed the best gift of all. Amen.
Wow.
Thank you, Kerry. That was amazing. I'm crying. I don't know about y'all. Wow. Powerful story. We are definitely going to go ahead and continue the service, though, as much as some lose. Wow. We're going to, if you want to use your red book, we're going to stand up and sing "Open My Eyes That I May See," number 72. Number 74, the words will be up here as well. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, I will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine. Open my ears that I may hear voices of truth thou sendest clear. And while the wave notes fall on my ear, everything else will disappear. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, I will to see. Open my ears, illumine me. Spirit divine. Open my mouth and let me bear gladly the warm truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare love with thy children thus to share. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, I will to see. Open my heart, illumine me. Spirit divine. Gosh, it's good. That song was so perfect to close out her talk. So go ahead and have a seat if you don't mind. I'm going to go ahead and sing a song that I wrote. Is that okay, Joe? Go for it. Go for it. I sang it a while back, but it's been a while. It's called Giving It Up. Now, towards the end, you'll catch on. I'm going to change it from me to we, or I to we. So I do encourage you at the very end to join in because you'll want to be giving it up to God as well. All right. There are days when I feel outnumbered and I want to run as far as I can, but I can't find it, so I surrender to my soul. He's right there with me, so I got to let it go. And so I'm giving it up, I'm giving it up, yes, I'm giving it up.
us affirm together our prosperity blessing. The inexhaustible resource of spirit is equal to every demand.
There is
no
lack. Abundance is here and now manifest.
I celebrate my abundance today. By giving this gift, I show my faith. As I open my heart, my world becomes a better place. I release my fear as I share gratefully. This love that I give always gives back to me. Knowing my oneness with everything else, I know that all that I give to myself.
Let us affirm together our offertory and prayer blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Lovingly I give, and lovingly I receive. Brother Kerry, your sermon, just wonderful. Very.
From the mouth of babes.
Louder.
Louder, okay? Got it. For those of you that are here for the first time, we heartily welcome you, and we hope to see you again. Reverend Carol,
Yeah.
do you have any announcements?
Actually, I have a couple. Now, all the details are in our weekly newsletter, our electronic newsletter, so if I can get that, take a look. So on Tuesday, the 23rd of February, we're going to have Mukti here. 24th. Is it the 24th? 23rd and 24th. Oh, 2 days. Give me the rest of that information. So those of you who are followers of Mukti, she'll be here. And then that's in February, and then the 1st, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of March, I've got there's a flyer out there, and the information is also in the newsletter. We're going to have opportunity to use a John of Light crystal bed. So those of you who don't know, John of God is a healer from Brazil, and these crystal lights, it's an energy process. It's very wonderful meditation, all these pretty lights and all. So again, the information is out there, and they will be here for about 4 days. So there'll be more information coming, but on the handout, if many of you probably already know a little bit about that, and they really prefer that you make your reservations to make use of it online, so their connection is out there. So you'll be hearing more as we go on. Okay. Have a couple.
Yes.
So just, if she mentioned newsletter, so if you want to be on our weekly email distribution list, we don't share your email with anybody else, but we do put great information in there about upcoming lovely speakers, as well as upcoming events, youth events, etc. So if you want to get on our email distribution, great. If not, we also have a website, Unity on the Mountain, right, Maria?
Yes.
Unity on the Mountain, so certainly befriend us on Facebook. We try to post things there as well. So email and Facebook, we are in the 21st century. I know, Carol, so excited. Barely, we finally made it. So thanks to Maria, actually, and Lucy. Lucy and Maria have done a great job. Also for youth groups, so exciting. We're steadily growing. We've got a great group who meets on Thursday nights. We hope to have yet another new attendee this coming Thursday. But every Thursday we do meet from 6:30 to 7:30 for ages 10 and up. We have a great time. We start off with snacks and general chit-chat, talk about the week. Then we have a great topic of discussion. The parents are, mom and or dad, are welcome to stay through that hour. We have several parents that do that off and on because, it may, you want to know what's going on in your kid's life, granted, but it's a very family-friendly topic every week. And it's about encouraging others and love and support and no bullying and things like that. So, and the kind of what would you do
kind of questions. And then we always end it with a game, because even though the adults go, wow, that was a fun game, let's do that again next week. So we continue to meet, and we're going to still try to organize to go to the museum, to see the balloon art as our youth outing this month. And then next month, every month we try to do an outing, whether it's bowling or whatever. So we'll keep you posted. And again, we post those kind of things. My email address is it in here? It's on here about contacting me. Yes, it is on the back page. If you want to ask questions about the youth group, by all means, you can email me at that email address, AOL.com, AmyLandreneau@AOL, and I'll be happy to provide you information and glad to see you there if you can come. Oh, and they don't have to attend Unity to come. That's a huge thing. You don't have to be a Unity youth to attend the youth group. Okay.
Thank you so much.
It's a lot of fun. The kids inspire me every week, every Thursday morning. Talk about this week. And they enlighten me. They really do. It's a good bunch of kids. I mean, you'd be amazed. They listen to us. They really do. They have good.
What's the age range?
Oh, 10 and up.
Yeah.
I say 10 and up because, again, some parents stay and it's a lot of fun. It just makes it just as much fun.
That's right.
So,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
for exciting. Yes, Debbie.
Hi, I'm Debbie, and I just wanted to invite you all to attend my class, which is starting in a few weeks. It's called Why Talking Is Not Enough. This is a class about relationships. Have you ever felt like you talk to your spouse or your significant other until your face turns blue and yet nothing ever changes? Well, that's what this class is about doing things besides talking. It's based on the book. You may want to check out the book first, Why Talking Is Not Enough by Susan Page. 8 loving actions to transform your relationship. And this class, it's really about our spiritual growth. And it's really, in some ways, about what Kerry was talking about, how to become the light in our relationship. But it gives very specific actions that you can practice. And with the support of others from week to week, you put these practices into action as an experiment to see, is this making any difference? Like I said, you've tried talking, you've said it louder, you've said it in different ways, you've said it with more emotion, and yet many times it just doesn't work. So if you're going through a struggle in your relationship, or maybe you know somebody, which I know all of you know somebody, especially with the 40-50% divorce rate in our country, you know somebody who is struggling in their relationship. Please let them know about this class. It is also on our Facebook. Thank you, Marie, for putting it down there. So look at it there and please share it with others on your Facebook. You can also contact me and I can send you this flyer directly, and you can email it to others, whatever works. It's starting in 3 weeks. It'll be here at the church, Thursday evenings. Hope to see you there. Yes?
Do we have the books upstairs that we can buy?
No, but you can go to Amazon.
Okay.
I've seen it there for like a penny.
I think it's right.
Plus postage, $3.99 postage. So that's where I got my book for. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Debbie. That sounds like that's what I hear on your.
Just one more thing, since we have, you have announcements on the back of your bulletin, but we have our Course in Miracles teacher with us. So Wednesday night's been meeting now for approximately a month, so if you want to talk to LaTanya about it, so welcome LaTanya, we're glad to have you here.
Would you like to share anything, Natalia, about your class?
It's every Wednesday night from 6 to 7:30. We have a very lively group, and we talk about a lot of different subjects, and you're all welcome, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right. Now it's time to share prayer requests.
Ready to sing the peace song?
All right, yes.
Go ahead and stand and we'll sing the peace song. We'll have reserves for that and prayer protection. Words will all be up on the screen. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous sound. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
And now, let's close with our wonderful prayer of protection.
The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God